G'day everyone, I'm Dirkel and welcome back to my Space Engineers Let's Play series. We're back here on the moon, the starter base we set up last episode. Got the drilling ship, the scout ship, little buggy that we started off with, and the refineries, assemblers, storage tanks, that sort of stuff that we all set up last episode. So jumping down here, we're just going to have a look at the short-term goals that we set up last episode. So number 1, set up a temporary starter base, that's pretty much complete now. Number 2, build a small drilling ship, that's also complete. And so today we're going to be moving on to number 3, building a large drilling ship. So just over here I've set up a bit of an example. I've got a drill down here. This is a large block drill. And then up here we've got a piston. So once they're not complete at the moment, they're just the frameworks. But once they're complete, essentially the drill obviously mines resources, and the piston, what it does is it actually pushes whatever block it's connected to. This part here can extend, I don't know what it is, up to 10 meters I think, something like that. And so we can push the drill down deep under the ground to get the resources that are down below the surface, because the resources are very rarely on the surface. There's only stone. To get the iron and etc, we have to go further 10, 15, 20 meters down under the ground to reach them. So this is the method that I'm going to go with. So we don't currently have enough resources to build the whole drilling ship at the moment. I'm going to do a lot of collecting of resources off screen, but for the moment we're going to move into a time lapse. You should hear the music, and yeah, let's go. Alright, and there we go. We've got most of the framework in place. It's not fully complete yet. There's a few things like gyroscopes, beacons, ore detectors, that sort of thing that I still want to put on it. But most of the bulk of the stuff is in, which is good. Now it's just going to take me ages to build it all. There's a lot of resources that I need to collect. Currently using all the assemblers down there to start building a lot of the parts for it. And now I have to fill them in as we go. Down here I've got the drills I've used double piston, so I don't know how far that'll get us, probably 30 meters, I'm not sure, but it should be enough. I've gone with, I think it's 13 drills at the moment. I think that should be enough. We can always add more later on if we need, or just make it bigger. And the whole general shape's kind of going with like a drone shape. You've got the 4 corners where you have the propellers of a drone, and then they all lead down to the center here where I've got the central drill. I'll put some blocks and stuff around it to make it look better. And yeah, other than that, I think it's pretty good. I really like this. I want to go with something a bit unusual for this design. We've installed walkways the whole way around it so you can run around. Over here I've got a single large hydrogen tank to store all the hydrogen for the thrusters. Then these 2 corners here, I've got large cargo containers. That should be plenty to store all the ores that we collect. And over here is the control station, I guess. This is where we sit to drive it. And above here we've got O2, H2 generators, which will convert a lot of the ice into hydrogen as we're flying, just because I think we're going to be using so much hydrogen that we really need that. And yeah, I think that's probably all the important stuff. Everything's connected up with connectors that go through here, that connect all 4 corners. And yeah, I'm going to start building it. So just before I started, upgraded all my tools to the level 3 ones, the elite ones, so the elite welder, elite hand drill, and elite grinder, so they go quite a bit faster. You can see they've got 3 stripes next to them. So yeah, I got all of them set up so I'd be able to build it a bit faster. And so far, I've built most of the connection system around the ship, and the 2 main thrusters that keep it from crashing down, I suppose. So these conveyors will convey all the resources to the large cargo containers, and also the hydrogen from the hydrogen tank. And it also all go into the cockpit with oxygen to keep me alive when I'm piloting it. and it brings all the resources from the drills through the pistons and yeah, into this conveyor system to send it through the ship. So now onto the rest of the ship. And here we go. This should do it. Alright, we've got our battery online. The batteries, when you build them, they start off with a bit of power. So that's good, so I can get the oxygen generators producing hydrogen, which will then flow into the hydrogen engine, which will then start producing power to start charging up the battery. So the whole station can start, or the whole drilling ship can start charging up power while I finish off building the rest of it. So that's good. Alright, welcome back. So I've actually got an added build large welding ship, because that took ages to build a large drilling ship, constantly running back and forth to the cargo container because I can only hold so much. But I think it is done. Here we go. Other than just the walkways around it, I think this large drilling ship is all done. Look, I've used it to dig a bit of a hole here so it can park itself there. It can now connect back to the station. And our next issue is actually we don't have anywhere near enough refineries to deal with all the resources this thing here is going to be able to collect. I'm going to use it now to go and do a resource run and come back, and we'll see how clogged up these refineries get. We may have to build 2, 4, 6, 10, you know, a lot more refineries to keep up with this amount of resources. Alright, here we are in the cockpit, and the first thing we're going to do is go over to that point over there, the GPS coordinate, and collect some iron, and I'll just show you how this beast flies. Alright, turn the engines on, unlock everything, and let's come out of here. So when it's got nothing in it, it's quite light, and so it definitely moves pretty fast. With the pistons, because it's creating like a new entity down there, it's not part of the same ship. It kind of causes some funny stuff to go on when it's flying. You might see like the drills down the bottom there shaking around a bit. So that's just how this game works when you've got pistons and rotors and stuff involved. You just got to be a bit careful with that. Alright, here we are above the iron. We're going to line ourselves up as best we can above where the ore detector saying the iron is. Turn the drills on. Then we're going to slowly, actually I might just rotate ourselves a little bit. This way here. And then we're slowly just going to bring it down. When we get low enough, I'll hopefully be able to lock the landing gear. And then just use the pistons to drill deeper. Although it doesn't look like it's too deep under the surface, to be honest. I may have to stop there because the engine's going to crash otherwise, so I'm going to use 8 and 9. Get the pistons extending. Slowly. Very slowly. And we can just watch it go down. Where's the iron? Here's the iron, so we've already gone through the iron layer. So we can probably stop it there now, we're just getting stone. So I might go and do it. It doesn't look like there's a very big iron layer here, so we're not going to get much from it. 8 and 9 to bring those pistons in reverse, bring them back up. Okay, we'll just hover for a second, go into the inventory, have a look at what we collected. Here's the large cargo container. So we've got a lot of stone, 1 million kilograms of stone, and only 142,000 kilograms of iron. That one cargo container was the other one here. The other one's just mainly stone. So we've got a bit of iron, but mainly mostly stone. But we've chucked the stone in the refineries. That will convert it into a bunch of different resources. I think you get cobalt, iron, and nickel from it. Just not very much. But yeah, this is what I mean when I say our refinery is going to get overloaded, just the two of them. Because there's no way they can keep up with this amount of resources that we can now collect. So before we get a mega base up and running, we're going to have to expand the starter base a bit more so that we can refine a lot more of these resources, because I think we're going to need them all for when we start on the mega base. It's going to be huge. Yeah. Okay, there we go. 6 more refineries. That should do. Now, just to build them all. Alright, there we go. I've built up 4 refineries. I've also put modules on the side. So they've got 2 power modules and 2 efficiency modules on each one. The efficiency ones make them refine resources faster. The power ones make them use less power because we're starting to max out the batteries we've got on the station. So I've done that for the top 3. And the bottom one here, I've got, what's it called? Yield modules. So it's got 4 yield modules on it. And that just makes it refine more ores out of the ores. So you get, I guess, more yield from the ores. So it makes it more effective. So for the limited ones I can find, like gold and platinum and stuff, I can put them in this bottom refinery and it'll get us more resources out of it, so that's good. Damn it, the platinum's still too deep to get to. It's alright, I'll get it with this. Haha, yes, the big driller's holes are big enough that the small drill ship can actually get down it. Good as. I've been busy collecting iron, collecting other resources, producing a lot of components using the assembler. Here there's a backlog still going here at the moment. In the large cargo container here, I've got a bunch of components now built up. 14,000 steel plates, that's quite a bit. I think we're ready to start building some big things. And at the same time, I've gone and built a large welding ship. There we go. I'll just run you through it quickly. I've got 4 welders at the front with the cockpit. These are all connected with conveyors to the large cargo container here, which has all the components in it. Behind that, we've got the large hydrogen tank to store the hydrogen for all the thrusters, and then we've got all the hydrogen thrusters pointing in all the directions. And a big one at the back there. And we've got a connector down here to connect it back to the station. Over there, I've built another large cargo container on the station because we kept filling it up. So yeah, our production's really ramping up now, which is really good. It's got a battery on it as well, and a light at the front. So some of the key things with a welder is you might think that because it's always carrying around lots of components, it's going to be very heavy, so you need lots of thrusters pointing down to keep it up. That's not necessarily the case because the welders are on the front, so you actually spend a lot of time facing downwards, welding things on the ground, especially when you're building a station. So you actually need a lot of these thrusters pointing forwards. So I've only got 3. I'm hoping that's enough, these 3 small ones here. I might need to add some more. I've got the one big one at the back, obviously to make us go forward, and so I've still got 3 pointing down, but yeah, you really need more pointing forwards for welders typically, at least pointing in the same direction as the welders here, so that when you're building a station on the ground, you're pointing the welders down to the ground, so you need that extra thrust, yeah, to keep you up. But because we're on the moon, there's not too much gravity, so that really helps us out as well with not needing as much thrust. And this is how it flies. It's pretty slow because it's quite heavy at the moment with all the components in it. But that's alright. Need to make sure that when we point it down, as long as we're not falling down to the ground, these forward facing thrusters are enough to keep us up, which they are, so that's good. There's no way to produce hydrogen on this ship, so whatever the hydrogen tank's got in it, that's all we've got every time we take it off. But the bottom right corner with the hydrogen gauge doesn't seem to be going down too fast, so we should have quite a bit of fuel in it when we're flying around, and when we need to refuel it, we come back to the station, and then we'll be able to replenish our hydrogen supplies from that. And we do accelerate forwards quite a bit faster than we slow down, because we've got the one large one on the back, so I just have to take care with that. And yeah, look, that might be about it for this episode. Next episode, we're definitely going to make a start on the mega base, start planning it out, might even start building it now that we've got this welder up and running. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did like it, please hit that like button down below. I'd really appreciate that. And yeah, I hope to see you back in the next episode.